Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Subscribe, comment, and like without smashing anything, and let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Gemini. Gemini, we've already pulled your overlying and underlying energy for this reading, and a lot of cards came out for the Universal Law deck. We have one card from the Akashic deck for the overlying and one card from the Akashic for the underlying energy. And then we have 3 cards for the overlying energy on the Universal Law deck and 2 cards for the underlying energy. Of course, they all go together. We're going to get the energy oracle to come out and then we'll start talking about it. But basically, the overlying energy of this reading is that your wishes are going to be fulfilled, Gemini. The things that you've been wanting in life, maybe things that you've even like pushed aside because it's been a long time and you didn't think that maybe you would get these things. These things are coming. There is a little bit required on your part to get it going. This isn't necessarily just going to happen automatically, but there's a couple things that this underlying energy is telling me, and of course the overlying energy. So let me get a few more cards out of the energy oracle, and then we'll look at the energies for this one. We'll talk about it. I would like 4 more cards, really. So if I don't get them, I'm going to go through it one more time. I'm just going to pull them. I don't know what that is. Facing the table. Kind of want to know. Ooh, are we pulling? So we're going to start the day. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm curious. Ooh. All right. Let's get to this. Okay. So Gemini, for your overlying energy from the Akashic deck, we have the Wishes Fulfilled card, the 5 of Keys. The card really talks about like all the things that are in this room. There's like, barrels filled with food and I was going to say like everything you can think of. I mean, it really did strike me as abundance. That's not really what this card means, although it did talk a little bit about abundance. So I want to say that through your wishes that are being fulfilled, it's a good possibility that, of course, if you're wishing for abundance, that's in there too, as a whole separate message, okay? And then we have 3 universal laws for the overlying energy, which I thought was very interesting, and I'll tell you why. So we have the law of growth. It says, be steadfast in your faith and stay the course. So we have this lion on this card down there, but then we also have this like eagle above his head. And this card, on top of talking about growth, really talked to me about like strength and almost like rising above, like, I didn't pick fear up from it, but just like using your strength to transcend where you would normally go, which it's funny that I use that word because it's not on the table, but transmutation is on the table. The law of transmutation, energize the mental picture of your dream. And to me, this goes with the underlying energy, and I'll tell you why. But yeah, I see a lot of like trying to move up in this particular reading. Maybe you've been trying to move up, or maybe you're about to start trying to move up, but for some reason you haven't been moving a whole lot. Maybe possibly on hold, because of the universe, like the divine timing kind of thing. This is like, it kind of looks like an hourglass to me. We'll get back to that. Okay, so then we also have from the overlying energy, the law of power. Remember the truth of who you are. So why is this card important? Well, partially because as we get into this underlying energy, truth will be on the table 3 times. And I believe that this is part of this kind of like leveling up energy for you, getting out of something that either you used to be or something that you are, to kind of transmute into something that you really are. you can see more clearly like what's inside of you that will never change, and then being able to like become that person and then move forward with that kind of thing. But we have to, there's a little bit of action involved, and we have to use our imagination to think of a grander picture of who we want to be. So for the underlying energy for the Akashic deck, we have the scribe. So some of you could literally be writing a book, but how I'm really picking this up, and it could be, it doesn't have to be a book, you could be writing anything, but I'm also picking this up as like you writing your own future, you writing your own, whatever it is that you want to grow into, not just being like readily available to level up from your dreams of what you've always had in your head, but being able to like go beyond that and think about being something even more than that, so that when you do grow, transcend, when your wishes are fulfilled, they're fulfilled on a higher level. They're fulfilled with more faith in what you deserve and what you could have coming to you, instead of, again, like we always talk about, thinking small. And then we have the law of oneness. So this one came out, this is the one that kind of looked like an hourglass for me. Release the need to make anyone wrong and unify with your truth. So making people wrong, maybe, but again, I'm picking this up as like unifying with your truth. Again, if you're going to write your own future, if you're going to write your own wishes, the ones that you want to be fulfilled, you want to do it from a place of power. You want to do it from a place of growth. You want to do it from a place of transmutation, because you want something different. You want something more. You want something more than what you've ever thought you could possibly have or want. Daring yourself, having faith enough to be able to want what you want and then believe that you could get it. And then this is the law of relativity. You are divinely perfect. Live your truth. So again, kind of like what we were talking about, you know, making people wrong or whatever. These three cards are kind of telling me, I mean, this guy's got like his head down. Yeah, and there's other people that are in this room, like other scribes that are in his room with him, but he's only paying attention to himself. And I feel like these cards are also saying to like, don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing. Sometimes we see people cutting corners and getting away with it, and they could be doing the exact same thing that we're doing, and we're not getting anywhere, and they are, because they're cutting corners. And I just want to say that that's not going to work forever. I know that at times when you see something like that, you want to jump in and do the same thing because you want it to be easier and you want to get ahead. But I keep feeling like some of these people who have had like certain businesses or certain, you know, habits and friendships, relationships, things like that. I feel like some of the behavior and things that they've been introducing into these situations where they're getting something over on someone else, I just don't think that it's going to keep working. Like as time goes on, I really don't believe that this is going to keep working. And I believe that you'll most likely see that it's not working. You may not see that something's falling apart for someone. And I feel like, you know, again, if you're tempted to like do something a different way because you see somebody else doing it and it's working, to trust your own instinct, to trust your own, you know, go back to your own intuition and your own integrity to decide how you want to do something or what you want to do, and then move forward with that regardless of what anybody else is doing. So we also have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So our throat is on the table. So getting our wishes fulfilled might need for us to be able to like actually speak what those wishes are, to be able to, there's a lot of energy of like figuring out what those things are. But then once we figure out what those things are, possibly speaking that truth. And then we have the action card. So this is also what's telling me about like the scribe. Like again, the wishes fulfilled. Sometimes I say in these readings that you could just sit there and do nothing and stuff will come to you. In this particular situation, it is going to require a little bit of that action. I kind of feel like if you don't act and you do just kind of sit around, you go, oh, I've been acting enough, I'm just going to sit here and wait for my wishes to be fulfilled. I feel like you either wouldn't notice it if it happened because it would be so blasé, or you would kind of be like, this is it. And this is why I'm saying that at this point you've gotten to the part where you've like literally you're ready to grow and become something bigger. And I believe that's why the wishes are getting fulfilled. It's not necessarily that you've been waiting around and now it's your time. It's the fact that you've put so much into yourself that you're about ready to like to grow again or to kind of level up. And the universe wants to reward you based on that, not based on where you've been when you were struggling and having hard times and things like that. And then we have the World card. So a lot of times we are moving towards the world. But again, we have our wishes fulfilled, which to me is like wishes fulfilled and abundance. And then we have the world. And then I saw another angel. Yeah. First chakra, Archangel Michael. So we have that first chakra on the table now, which I always call our stability. And then we have the angel of love. So now we're introducing love into this. Some of your wishes that you're waiting to be fulfilled do have something to do with love. Again, this is what we're talking about. If you're trying to get better or more than what you've been getting, and you know you want like a better love, then these cards are saying that you want to be that better person. You know, I keep saying it, like a lot of times we attract sort of who we are. I mean, sometimes it's the opposite, but the vibration is the same. And if we don't want to keep attracting that thing, we have to raise our vibration. If we want better relationships, we have to raise our vibration so that we can attract people who have a higher vibration. We can have integrity and we can be of a low vibration, and we can come to a relationship with love and treat someone exactly the way it's supposed to be. But there's a 50-50 that we attracted somebody with a low vibration who's not going to treat us well. And we don't necessarily see that because we feel a kinship with these people because our vibrations match. These cards are saying if you want more, be more. And then we have the contract. So sometimes this literally comes up as like a soul contract or like a life contract, something to, like when I say your wishes are going to be fulfilled, sometimes that is part of the contract. It doesn't matter where you are, what you've been doing, like this is going to happen kind of thing. this is also why I'm saying that, you know, if you don't act, your wishes will be fulfilled, but they might be fulfilled on a lower vibration, on a lower level, before any transcendence or growth kind of thing. And then we have all tied up. So I kind of feel like this is where you've been, but I kind of feel like if you don't take any action to even at least figure out what you want on a higher level, that again, what's going to come in is going to be mediocre at best. And it's kind of along the lines of like you not wanting to work on yourself and then just getting, you know, wherever you're at kind of thing. Which a lot of times when we're in a place where we don't want to work on ourselves, it's already kind of sort of because we're like beaten down, like we've been doing a lot. We're kind of just tired. We want to sit where we are. And sitting where we are is great, but you know, for just a little bit, and then we want to move again a lot of times if we're trying to grow. I mean, we can get comfortable and stay comfortable in the same spot, wishing that we could get more stuff, or better stuff. But if we're not willing to move, or we're not willing to put the effort into it, trying to get more effort out of other people, I just feel like energetically we're not really putting that out there. So let's see what Alice has to say about this. I wonder what that was. I see it, but I don't want to pull it. I want these cards to exit the deck if possible. I'm going to go through it a couple more times, and if not, we're going to pull some cards. So we have our throat, we have our stability, we have love on the table, and we have the world. All right, I think I'm going to pull 3 more. Okay, so now we have fear on the table. All right, so let's see what came out on its own. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So we have uncertainty. Choose who you would become. This is what we're talking about. Like literally choosing who you will become so that you can bring that person that you want to you. Be who you want to attract is what I've been saying lately. And then we have nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messengers. So this is like my You Are Special card. You have a talent or a gift that not everybody has. This is another thing that we're talking about. Like if you are trying, if you're purposely trying to transcend so you can purposely bring in something new, this is telling you that you have gifts that you want to pay attention to. You either want to figure out what they are, or if you know what they are, cultivate them. Again, you have stuff going on here that you can use to catapult yourself into like a better future. And then we have follow the white rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity. This is that, like, if you get an opportunity, take it kind of thing, move. I always say to trust your intuition. I'm a little leery of when people tell me to jump, when something's in my, I'm always like, am I being tested? So follow your intuition there. Again, there's a little bit of action required on your part. Like, things may get handed to you, but you're either going to have like an action beforehand to put yourself in a place where things will be handed to you, or when things are handed to you, you need to like use your discernment. Is this the thing for me, right? This card talks about like, if you want to brush up on your skills or get better at something, to make sure you find the right teacher. And I'm also saying to trust your instinct before you move. Like, is that where your mind, is that where your intuition is telling you to go? Like, after you grow, we want to use our power to get towards the things that we want. We don't want to use our power to block ourselves. And then we have clock time, pressure, and a rush. This is divine timing. This is what we were talking about in the beginning too, except this is hurry up divine timing. So this isn't like, oh, you got time, use your time well. This is like, okay, stuff's coming at you. Be who you want to be who you want to attract. So when the time comes, that person that comes in is like a divine match for you. You have, it's time to talk sense. You have the nonsense card. So this could be you saying that you don't deserve something, or thinking that you're not going to get something, or thinking that something's not available for you. This could also be coming from the outside. We have no need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. So again, kind of talking about our power here. And we were talking about this having strength for this growth, which is a totally different card. And basically remembering how powerful we are. We can pick whatever we want. We can be whoever we want. We can choose to be with whoever we want. We do not have to sit around and tell ourselves that it's not possible. I mean, sometimes we might, pick something or someone that's out of our reach, but the only reason why it's out of our reach is because we're not really of that, like, matching that vibration. If we would match that vibration, it would not be out of our reach. I know it sounds a little bit more grand than I'm making it sound. Like, if you want to be the King of England and you already know that position is filled. But again, there would be no chance of that if you thought to yourself that would never happen. Not saying that it would happen even if you believed it, but again, we're talking about growth and transmutation here. I would advise you to set like clear, like reachable goals for yourself, right? Don't do the thing where you like pick stuff that could never be, so that you can say, see, I told you this doesn't happen. We have such a curious dream, grounding, returning to reality, coming home. So again, choosing things that we want from our situation. Everybody's unique. The things that they choose, I always say, if everybody was told that they could have everything they wanted or anything they wanted, they would all choose different stuff, So just because you want it, or you wanted it for a long time, or you really want it, doesn't mean that it's completely out of your reach, just because in your perception everybody might want it. I always think about things like that when we're talking about like love or abundance or just good stuff. It's kind of like, well, everybody wants that. And it's like, yeah, but some people get it and some people don't. Sometimes based on their beliefs and their blocks and the things that they tell themselves, that's not possible. And then when it doesn't come, they're reinforced in the idea that it's not possible. Whereas they could turn that around. There's a card that kind of says that. This one. No. This one. Transmutation. So they could turn that around just by deciding and then flipping that idea around. I really felt that when I saw this card. We have, there's a girl here, and then there's the flip side of the girl up here. And I do really feel like we could just change it if we decided. I mean, I'm not saying we could change it overnight. We have to create some kind of momentum. Again, we have to believe that this could be a thing, and then kind of go with that, with this, who in the world are you? Where is it? Uncertainty. No. It's something like that. I know I saw it. Hold on. Choose who we become. So that's the thing of, you can choose who you want. You can choose who you want to be, and you can choose who you want to attract. You do not have to be stuck here telling yourself stuff that doesn't, especially like I said, if part of the contract is getting this other person to come and you're telling yourself, oh, that will never be, it's just going to take longer. I mean, you're on divine timing, and it's kind of hurry up, but you know, I'm starting to feel like everything is relative, you know? Which some things are kind of sort of turning out to be, like when you say death is final, but then I'm starting to hear that, like, if someone has wrecked their body, but they have something to heal with someone and that person seeks them out, sometimes they'll get a little bit more time to work that out with that person before they die. It's almost like they can kind of stop you from dying for a little bit so that you can work those things out. So again, you know, the amount of time that someone has to die could be relative to their situation. Really need to keep an open mind when you're trying to transmute and change things, because you don't want to cut yourself off based on what you think is real. There's so much more potential out there. All these laws are on the table telling you there's growth, you have power. Change is on the table. Knowing full well that you need to pay attention to yourself, but that everybody is one. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't judge them. Worry about yourself. All right, let's see who else might be involved in this. So we have new moon in Leo, shine. So there might be a Leo involved with you, Gemini. And this is kind of saying, you know, have fun while you're choosing. Choose something fun. Choose something good. Choose something that you know. A lot of times, again, when we think of ourselves in a certain way, we paint this picture of not doing enough or not being enough. And this is saying, don't do that. Be what you want. Be who you want. Draw in who you want. Don't play yourself small because you think that's all that you're worth, or that's all that's coming to you, or that's all the universe has available for you. It's not true. First of all, you have this contract here. Second of all, you have this angel of love here, and you have all this encouragement to choose, to take action, to choose what you want to be, to go for it, right? And then you have assess the situation, first quarter moon in Virgo. So there might be a Virgo involved with you, Gemini. And basically, again, looking at yourself or how you want to look at yourself. If you have to throw everything out the window that you've been told or that you've been telling yourself, do that. And I get it. You know, as much as I do in my spiritual awakening, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I have to like shed that idea that I'm not doing enough, especially if I'm doing a bunch of stuff, right? Like I'm not just sitting around. I'm doing stuff. I'm just not doing everything that I want to do. I'm going to be down on myself. Now I'm going to lower my vibration and give myself a hard time because I can't physically do everything every day. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to attract that. And then you have last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. So again, this is kind of like we're talking about if you're offering resistance to yourself because you believe something about your potential for growth, your potential for transmutation, or your potential for like what your power is, you need to really assess that situation and take a look at it, because it's a possibility that you're the only one that's speaking nonsense in this situation. I only see you on the table, Gemini. So I'm ready now to pull the blind spot. I want to see if there's something else that's in our way that's causing us to not want to fully expand in the direction that we could go, we deserve to go. I'm talking about expanding into someone who we are already, allowing us to be ourselves. So, the best thing I can tell you is, you know, even if you don't fancy yourself as trying to grow or change, you know, you always are. If you're one of those people that is always trying to be a better person, or feels like you're always trying to learn something, then this is telling you that it's time to turn inward, look at yourself, figure out what you want to do to expand, who you want to attract. Who do you want to attract as far as like in an expanded relationship? And it doesn't have to be romance, but it can be. You could also have a better relationship with your family. This is not just romance, but you have to decide who you want to be, and you have to decide who you want to be friends with, or who you want to be in a relationship, or what you want that to look like, how you want to be treated. Again, who you are. Choose who you will become. You can choose. If you don't know who that person is, you can choose. All right, Gemini, if this is your reading, meet us over at the extended. The link will be in the description. And if not, until we meet again,